Hi, I'm from Group 4. I'm Petra Andriani. Now we're gonna talk about a bit about our platform called Nebula, which is essentially a bulletin board application where user can share their thoughts, stories, and communicate each other using posts and comment. So without further ado, let's dive into it.
All right, now we go to the page sections of Nebula platform. The first page is the register page. Here on the register page, we have the title, join Nebula today and create your account and start sharing your stories. Inside this, we also have forms. We have the form for username, email, password, and confirm password, also the button for the register. And we can also register with Google. But let's try to fill in the username first. Also the email, and let's type the password. All right. Then after that, we click register. All right, we already created our accounts. Let's see the code behind that page. Okay. Okay. We have the page of register. So this code is to create a register page in React, which I import a React and register form component. And on the register component, I returns a div with a class name of out page and display the register form inside this. And finally, I export this component so it can be used in the application loading. So let's try to go to the register form component here. This is the registers form component, which previously we type the form for the username, email, password, and also the confirm password. So in here, you can see that I use the React use state. This is the components manage internal state like form data and error message. And the use out here is the custom context hook that provides authentications functions like register. And here they use navigate. This is from the React router used to redirect users after successful registrations. And the last, I import the error message. This is for the reusable component that displays error alerts. Inside here, we have the state management. We have state management use state for the form data, error, and loading. The form data, this is to store the input values such as for the username, email, password, also the confirm passwords. And on the error side, we store the validations or the set for error messages. And for the loading, I indicates that when the form is processing registrations. Also here, we have the event handler here. This is the event handlers to update form values whenever the users type. And here, I use the dynamic keys to handle all fields with one function. Also here, we have the handle submit. On the handle submit, there is a prevent default. This is to prevent page reload whenever you submit button. And inside this, I try to validate the password. We will check if the password is matched and also the password is at least 6 characters. And after that, after that, we set the loading to be true. Then after that, we call the register here from the out context with the from data. So after we call the out context with the from data, here if the success, we will navigate to the home. But if that error or if failed, it will display an error message or the error process. On the return side here, I use Tailwind's classes, this one, for layout and styling. So this is the summary of this. I just make the register form to handle form display and user registrations logic. That's about the registrations page. Okay, wait, why again? After we create an account, we need to verify our email first. Let's recheck our email. See, we need to verify our email, then we click it. After we click OK, email verified successfully. Your email has been verified. After we verified our email, we will direct to the home page. Let's see the code behind of the verify email page. So the verify email component is responsible for verifying a user email when they click the verification link sent to their email, which it will handle 3 main steps. Okay, so here I use the use state, also the use effect, and the use ref. On the use state here to manage the component status and error, and then the use effect here to trigger email verifications when the page loads, and here for the use ref to prevent multiple API calls. And the use param here, this is for the extract the token from the URL, and the user navigate here, it is so allows redirecting the user after the user success to verify the email. Then the API here to connect to the backend verification API, loading, and the error message, just the custom reusable UI components. So here you have useStat. Of course, you have useStat for status, and then error and had verified. For the status, this is to control which UI the letter which will loading, success, or error is displayed, and then the error here, this is for the store the error message, just previous one. And we have the use effect here to trigger the verifications. So when the page loads, it will check if the verification has not been triggered yet. And that will call the verify email functions once using the token from the URL. And this is the verifications functions. Okay. So here we will, and here we will call the API endpoint. And if this success, it will update, then give success. And if not, it will send an error. Okay, so this is if success, it will success, and then will give us the status. And if not, it will send the verifications failed. This is about the verify email page. Let's go back again. All right, now let's try to log out first. See, and then we will go to the login page. But before that, I wanna go to the forgot password page. All right. Okay, this is the forgot password page. Here the title, and then enter your email address, and we will send you a link to reset the password. We type the email, then we click send resend link. Okay, check your email. We success to send the email for the forgot password. Then here we get the reset request. We will go to the reset password page. So we just type the new password and then we confirm the new one. Then click reset password button. Alright, password reset successfully. After we success, we will go redirect to the login page. Alright, let's go back to the code first. We will see the forgot password code, like what is inside of this. So first we have also the React and also the use state. And here we have link. This link is enable us to navigate between pages without reloading from the React router. Also here we have the Auth API. This is a service that contains the API function to send the password reset request. And this just a reusable message. And also we have the state management for the email, loading, error, and also the success. Here we have the handle submit functions. On this, we have a e.prevent default. This is prevent the page from the reloading. Whenever we use the submit, we will use this, the e.prevent default. Then after that, we will clear the previous error and show the loading state. And we'll call the backend API with this, the Auth API that forgot password email. This is to send the reset to the email. Then if success, it will set success to be true. Then we'll give a notification, check your email, that we have sent password reset instructions to our email. But if that error, it will capture and display backend message like this, like previous one. Okay, then after that, we have the form layout here. So here on submit, we will call the handle submit. Inside of this, on the form, this form is include email validations. Okay, with the button text changes dynamically when loading later. Like previous one, if an error occurs that will give the error message, component will appear. And inside of this, we use the class name for the Tailwind CSS for styling, yeah. And this is behind of the forgot password page. Okay. All right, and this is the code behind reset password page. As usual, we use usestat for save data, and also we use the use params to take the reset token from the URL, and we use also the Auth API and also the error message. Wait. All right. Then here we have the state management. We have the use state for the loading, error, and also the success. Also, we have for the form data. This form data is for hold user input, such as for the new password, also the confirmation password. The loading is true for the true while API request is being processed. And the error here to show the validations or the API error messages, and the success here will give the true once the password has been successfully updated. And here we have the handle change. This handle change is to update form data dynamically as the user types into the input fields. And also we have the handle submit. This is to trigger when the user submits to the form, and also will break down inside of this. This is to ensure that the both password match, and Ensure the password length is at least 6 characters. And on this is to calls to the backend API to reset the password using the token from the URL. Okay. Then if this success here, that will show a success message and redirect to the login after 3 seconds. But if it error, it will display an error message. Okay, and inside of this, we also use the class name for the Tailwind CSS. And this is the code behind of the reset password page. Okay. Okay, now let's try we log into our platform. We type our email and also we type our password. Then we click button for the login. After we log in, we will go direct to the home page. Alright, now let's go back to the code. What is behind of the login page? So here we have the import yet from React as usual, and then import the login form components from this address. And inside this, we have the functional React component name login. This acts as the login page of our applications. And inside this, that return statement defines what the UI look like later. And this, the out page, this is the page wrapper used for the styling, for example, like the background or our layout. But the form is inside this component on the login form. Let's we go to the login form. Okay, on the login form, here I also add the use navigate. This is from the React router, which will redirect users after successful login. The rest is usual like previous one. And also there are state management for the form data, error also for the loading. For the form data, this is the stores user input for email and password like previous one. We fill the email and also we fill the password. And this error is for the display validations or login errors and the loading. This is show whether the form is processing a login request. And this is the functions on the handle change. This is the update input values whenever the user types. And this used to dynamically update either the email or the password field. And on the handle submit, this is like previous one. This is just to prevent for the submissions. And we see here. Sorry. Wait. Handle submit. Okay, this one. This one, the handle Google login is to redirect user to the backend's Google Auth router for Google authentications. And the return value just return the title also for the styling. And this is behind of the login page. Let's be back. And this is our home page. Okay. Okay, so here we have the brand introductions with welcome to Nebula, a calm space to share your thoughts, craft stories, and connect with brilliant minds under one digital moon. And also the CTAs. This is the primary CTA with the create post, and then this is the secondary CTAs with the explore stories. When you click create post, it will direct to create post page. And when you click the explore stories, it will direct to the community stories. Then here we just have the hero of the display and also just with the dominant color of yellow and then the background is cream. Then we go to the code behind of this home page. This is the code. Simple, right? Just import the React, also import the link. This link from the React router DOM, which used for the client-side navigations between pages. And inside of this is the component declarations, which this defines a functional components called home, which will return the JSS like the structures of the home page. And this is like for the entire page framing. So inside of this, just the tailwinds for the styling on the CSS, like this. Just that for the home page sections. Now go to the next page for our story. This is the journey of the nebula. This is the title and the subtitle, also the missions of our platform, also the visionaries of our platform. Like just tell what it is and then what the missions and so on. Let's we see to the our story code, what is behind of this page. Okay, our story. Okay, this is our story. We use out here. This is a custom loop to check the custom hook to check if the user is logged in the is authenticated letter. And this is the use navigate, allow redirecting users to other pages like login or maybe to create posts. And the show info and show choice, this is the custom suite URL functions for showing model pop up with nice UI. Okay, this is just the team data for the visionaries. You see that? And here the handle join click. Here, this is the main interactivity. This is just the functions handles what happens when they join our journey. This one. Okay. That happens with or share our story. This one. So this here, if the user is logged in, they are encouraged to create new posts. Okay. But if not, they are prompted to either register or login using News with Alert. Here. Okay, this is just the components like for the Tailwind CSS styling, and then this is just the content section, and then the visual illustrations. There is a styling, just styling and design behind it. There's no much things here. And the next page is the create post. Wait. Okay, here the create post, there's a title for the create content, share your story, and the subtitle, craft your narrative and join our constellations of luminous stories. And we have form here, form for create new post. For example, I will make the title of tweet, and the story is I want to eat burger. For example, then we have button for cancel and publish story. Let's we publish it. When we publish, it will go direct to the my post page. So the create post just like this. Title, subtitle, the form. Also, the message for every story begins with a spark. Share yours with the world. When you click cancel, it will go to the create post with nothing. Okay, Let's we go back to the code. What is behind of this create post page? All right, create post. This. On the create post, we import the React. Also, we import the post form. This is another component that handles the actual form inputs and submissions logic for creating a post. All right. Then here there is a component structure. This define a functional components that name create post, which it will returns the JSX, which determine what appears on the page. And also on here, this is the outer container. I use Tailwind CSS for styling. Add screen means that this one means that I made the sections take up at least the full edge of the screen. And the BG, this says applies a soft ivory background color. This is the soft ivory background color. Then the PY and the PX, this is the add responsive padding for the better spacing on all screen sizes. And after that also this is for the center content wrapper, just for the restrict to do with a minimum of this 3XL. And then do make the max auto just to the centers the content horizontally. Okay, then here I have this. This is to renders the post form component, which likely includes later on the post form for the title, content, and so on. So this is behind of the create post page. All right.
Already login. I'm gonna go to explore stories to see all the posts that people share. You can see the first thing, Nebula Constellation, what we call compilation, is a collection about thoughts and story people share in this platform. Here we can see the summary. There's 38 total story, one card page, 10 story here. For card page, it's going to be more. If we have more story, there will be a pagination, as you can see. Okay, we're gonna see our first constellation. Let's go to Our to Eat by ZZ. As you can see, we can see the profile by whom is written. There's a date, and also there's text, edit post, and delete post. We also can go back and leave comment. To edit post, we're going to go to edit post here. You can see the form about the title and the story that we want to share. And now we're gonna edit it and add the French fries. And save it to update story. As you can see, we are able to save it. Now, if we are going to edit it, we gotta click delete post, and there's a pop-up, delete this post, and we will delete it. But before that, we're going to go back to the code, and we're going to search delete, search delete. There's a handler that's gonna fetch our action, whether we want to delete it or not. First, we see before there's a pop-up which says that are we want to delete this post? And if it's true, there's gonna be a wait that show post is deleted. Your post is previously deleted. Success, which is the message itself. Let's try it. Yes, delete, and how it's gonna look like this.
Ya, halo semuanya. Jadi di sini kita akan melanjutkan proyek buletin. di phase 2 dan phase 3. Jadi di fase ini kita akan belajar bagaimana menghubungkan aplikasi Express.js ke MongoDB menggunakan Mongoose. Lalu kemudian membuat model user dan post dengan Nano ID dan membangun sistem autentikasi lengkap menggunakan JWT atau JSON Web Token dan Passport.js. Semuanya dengan ES modul syntax atau ES 6 sehingga sudah menggunakan import dan export, tidak menggunakan const require lagi. Yang pertama kita akan menghubungkan Express ke MongoDB-nya. Jadi kita membuat file database.js dan dan kami menyimpannya di config, di folder config di sini. Jadi di sini kita akan menggunakan Mongoose untuk menghubungkan aplikasi kita ke MongoDB. Fungsi dari ConnectDB di sini ini akan bertujuan untuk menyambungkan ke database. Jadi kalau berhasil akan menampilkan nama dari host dan nama database-nya di konsol. Jadi di sini MongoDB-nya terkonek, ada console log di sini dan ada database name-nya. Bisa dilihat apabila kita menjalankan servernya, MongoDB-nya sudah terkonek di localhost dan database name-nya adalah bulletin board. Kita lihat bahwa kebetulan saya di sini menggunakan server lokal untuk MongoDB-nya di Kompas bisa dilihat sudah tersambung ke localhost dan ada database bulletin board di sini dengan nama bulletin board. Lalu berlanjut ke membuat model user dengan Nano ID. Jadi kita membuat user model. Model ini punya beberapa field seperti username, email, password dengan ketentuan yang sudah kita buat, kita tentukan. Dan kita juga menambahkan hash atau enkripsi ke password agar tidak tersimpan secara raw string. Seperti lihat di sini. Jadi dia tidak bisa diintip passwordnya lewat database. Lalu kemudian membuat model untuk post yang berisi field title, content, slug, ini untuk keperluan Nano ID, author, dan timestamp. Ini untuk mencatat kapan dibuat dan kapan diupdate, mencatat waktunya. Lalu berlanjut, kami sudah membuat tes untuk model yang sudah dibuat dengan skema sebagai berikut dan log yang sudah disusun. Langsung kita jalankan saja dulu untuk melihat hasil dari pengetesannya. Dapat dilihat dari awal bahwa MongoDB-nya sudah terkonek. Sorry, ini yang sebelumnya ya. Nggak, dari sini user created-nya sudah, membuat usernya berhasil dengan user ID new object sebagai berikut. Password is hash-nya true. Lalu mengetes post, postnya berhasil terbuat. Dan dari situ dapat dilihat bahwa tesnya sudah berjalan secara sukses dan Nano ID-nya sudah bekerja dengan semestinya. Ketika pengetesan sudah dilakukan, data-data yang tadi dibuat langsung dibersihkan agar tidak menumpuk di database yang kita punya. Lalu berlanjut ke sistem autentikasi atau masuk ke fase selanjutnya, fase 3. Di sini kita akan menggabungkan Passport.js untuk login dengan email dan password serta JWT atau JSON Web Token untuk menjaga sesi login tanpa server-side session. Jadi nanti setiap user yang login akan menerima token dan token itu akan dipakai untuk mengakses rute yang dilindungi. Bisa dilihat di sini terdapat middleware protect yang berfungsi untuk memverifikasi JW token dari header authorization. Kalau token valid, maka data user akan ditambahkan ke objek rec.user. Kalau tidak valid, maka request akan ditolak langsung dengan not authorized. Lalu berlanjut ke konfigurasi passport.js. Di sini Kita konfigurasikan pasport menggunakan local strategi, di mana user login dengan email dan password. Pasport akan mencari user di database lalu memverifikasi password dengan metode compare password dari model user. Di sini local strategi, username, password, dan lalu dilanjutkan dengan compare user password. Apabila match, kalau misalkan dia tidak match, is not match, maka akan keluar message invalid email or password. Lalu kita berlanjut membuat out controller, yang dimana di sini semua logika utamanya disimpan dari awal. Contoh dari register, ini untuk generate token JWT-nya, ini untuk register. Apabila sudah ada di sini dapat keluar user already exists with this email. Jadi karena tersimpan di skema bahwa email itu harus unik, apabila ada pembuatan akun baru dengan email yang sama, akan muncul message bahwa user already exists yang menunjukkan bahwa ini tidak bisa diregister untuk email yang sudah ada. Lalu berlanjut ke roots-nya. Di sini semua controller yang sudah dibuat tadi, logic-logic yang sudah tersimpan di out controller tadi, itu dihubungin lewat root yang sudah dibuat di sini. Seperti ada root untuk dari atas register, ada root untuk login, ini me untuk melihat profil setelah kita login, dan ini ada untuk Google apabila login menggunakan Google dan sebagainya. Dan terakhir kita bisa mengetes autentikasinya dengan cara menjalankan servernya terlebih dahulu. Oh ya, sebelum itu setelah mendefine rootnya yang tadi, kita menyimpan itu semua di server, sehingga ketika server dijalankan dengan npm run dev, akan langsung menjalankan keseluruhan dari tadi yang sudah kita buat. Mulai dari out controller, connection database, di sini ada connectdb, configure password, concept.express, jadi dijalankan via server. Dan lalu berlanjut ke pengetesan autentikasi. Di sini kita bisa mengetes dengan menjalankan servernya terlebih dahulu. Ketika servernya sudah berjalan, kita bisa melakukan pengetesan tes autentikasi dengan skema yang sudah kita buat seperti ini. Tes out S. Nah, dapat dilihat bahwa testingnya pun sudah berhasil dengan autentikasi yang sudah kita buat. Jadi registrasi yang berhasil dengan autentikasi yang aman, login berhasil, untuk mengambil profilnya, untuk melihat profilnya. Lalu ini yang forgot password, reset password, with new password. Dan fitur-fiturnya sudah tercentang semua dan pengetesannya sudah berhasil. Jadi autentikasinya atau sistem autentikasinya sudah berjalan dengan semestinya. Kesimpulannya, video ini kita telah menghubungkan Express.js ke MongoDB menggunakan Mongoose atau membuat koneksi database. Lalu kita sudah membuat model user dan post dengan Nano ID. Lalu membangun sistem autentikasi dengan JWT atau JSON Web Token dan password JS, dan itu semua menggunakan ES6 atau S modul sintaks. Jadi sekian dari fase 2 dan 3. Terima kasih.
Puna from backend here, and Now I will cover the phase 4 and phase 5 of Nebula backend development, where on the phase 4 we are creating email service integration, while phase 5 will be focusing on post-management CRUD operation. Both of these phases transform the Nebula app from a basic authentication system into a fully functional content platform. For a quick disclaimer, the application continues to use ES module throughout the backend. So Nebula still maintaining modern JavaScript syntax with import-export statement. Okay, let's dive into it. Phase 4 adds professional email functionality to the Nebula, where user will receive email verification when registering, and also will get password reset email and welcome messages. This will transform the basic authentication into a complete user onboarding experience. And just like what I share in the screen right now, we will explaining a bit about email service architecture, where the core email service use NodeMailer with ES module syntax. As you can see here, the create transporter function provide base functionality for all the email types, handling both HTML and plain text version for maximum compatibility. And here is the send password reset email, and notice how it accept a reset token parameter. This token comes from the user model's generate reset token method, which use NanoID internally to create short, secure token. Similarly, send email verification accept a verification token parameter, and the NanoID implementation happen in the user model, not here. This function just format the email with the token. And then here is the send welcome email, where it will create a positive user experience after a successful verification. Maybe that's the structure of email services. We can moving forward to authentication controller. Okay, the authentication controller import our email function using ES module syntax, and then we move to, and during registration we will call user.generate email verification token, where this method in the user model use NanoID to create a token. Then we pass the token to our email function, our previous email function. Same pattern also done for password reset. User generate reset token. Here, create the NanoID token in the user model, then we will send the token via email. Okay, here where actually Nano ID is actually imported and used in user.js. The generate reset token method use Nano ID to create 32 character tokens. And then the generate email verification token creates 48 character token. These methods are what create the clean URLs we see in emails later. Then we can move on to email service. The HTML email templates are embedded in our email service, where, for example, in the send password reset email, we have our own HTML template that will be sent to the user. In this case, a template email when user will want to reset their password, there is a template password that will be sent to the respective user. And not also for the created template for email services. We also add security warning on each template. For this case, for resetting password, we added security notice to remind the user that the link to reset the password will be expired in 1 hour prior the email sent to them. And after we are acknowledge the architecture of email services that we built in the back end, in the end, we need to do some testing. And here is the test email that I created to test the email services. And this test script will try to validate our email configuration by sending all the email types that we created in email service.js. You can simply just run it. Node email.js. And we can see the successful testing here. And for the reset URL, for example, here, it look much cleaner than traditional crypto tokens, and it's thanks to the Nano ID. And as you can see, there will be 4 type of email, where the first testing will be a basic email that informing to you that it's a test email, and then the second one will be a password reset email, the third one will be testing email verification, and the fourth one will be a welcome on board email. And we can also see the email. As you can see, the first email is a test email, and the second is the password reset request, and then third one is verifying email address, and the fourth and the last testing email is the welcome onboarding email. After phase 4, successfully creating email services for Nebula, next we will talk about CRUD operation overview on phase 5. Phase 5, implement complete post management, create, read, update, and delete operation with proper authorization. User can create posts, browse other content, edit their own posts, and maintain their content library. On this post controller.js, we will looking at the get post function here. Get post function where it implement pagination and sorting. As you can see, the pagination logic calculating the skip values here, and the calculate method to include the author information efficiently. And then we go to the get post by slug function, where slug-based retrieval use nano ID generated slugs from our post model instead of MongoDB object ID, creating a clearer URL. Later on, we also have a create post function where it will be automatically assign the authenticated user as author and relies on the post model to generate unique nano ID slugs. We also has update post function where update post will include authorization logic, where that line will compare the post author ID with the authenticated user ID, ensuring user can only modify their own content. We also have delete post function, where it has the same authorization like update post, where it making sure there will be an ownership validation and user will be able to delete their own post but not other people posts. And then we have get post by user function and search post function. Both of these additional function will provide the user specific post list and search So both of these functions will complete the content browsing experience. And then we can go to the model pose. Here in the model pose, the post model imports NanoID custom alphabet to create a URL friendly slugs. This will be created a custom NanoID using only lowercase letter and numbers and generating 10 character slugs, which is we think perfect for URLs for this app. And then on the post schema, you can see there's a slug field here. The slug field use a default function that will call our prior custom nano ID and automatically generating unique slug for every post. And for routing, for post routing, the root organization will follow a RESTful principle. What do I mean by the root organization follow RESTful principle is, as you can see, there is an order to write the roots. In this case, specific roots like /search will come before dynamic roots like slug to prevent routing conflict. And then we also have command root here, which is nested under post roots. And with this command root, there is an integration that show how the system scales, where post and command work together seamlessly. Okay, input on the validation middleware. Input validation will prevent security vulnerability. There is a title and content length limit along with sanitation to protect against malicious input while maintaining usability. And then we also have the validate middleware, where it will process validation result and return detailed error message that help user to correct their input problem. And then we go to the API.js. This API.js located at the front end, which created to demonstrate a clean separation between UI logic and data access. Each CRUD operation has dedicated function handling authentication header and error processing. And notice how the POS API encapsulate all the POS-related network operation, making the front-end component simpler and more maintainable. Just like the email services function, we also need to do a test on the POS controller. And this comprehensive test script will try to validate our entire CRUD implementation. And you can just open the terminal and start testing. And you can watch the output. There is user creation, and then POS generation with nano ID slug, and then testing updating the POS and testing to delete the POS. And with this test also validate that the nano ID slug generation work correctly, and will creating a clean URL that has 10 character instead of using a very long and not so clean MongoDB object ID. And both of these function, email function and POS management using CRUD actually work together seamlessly. The page4 email system will notify user about account changes, while this page5 POS system will create engaging content experience. The Nano ID implementation will provide consistent, clear identifier across both user token and POS logs. Database design support the workflow. User authentication fit into POS authorship, while email verification will ensure the legitimate user. And then error handling span both of the paces. Email failure email failure don't break user registration, while post-operation failure will provide clear feedback. For example, maybe their input too short, and the host controller will remind the user about it. The ES module architecture maintain code clarity throughout these both phases 4 and 5 with clean import and export, making the code base maintainable and scalable in the future. With this process of creating phases 4 and phases 5, this effort transformed the Nebula from a basic authentication app into a complete content platform. User will receive professional email communication, and can manage their content effectively through comprehensive CRUD operation. The combination of reliable email service, NanoID-powered clean URLs, and robust post management provide the foundation for advanced features in the future. The spaces establish the core functionality of the Nebula app that will make it a viable platform for user-generated content.